Psalm 51:5 says that it's in us at the moment of conception. All right? Before we breathed a breath into the world, at conception, we had this sin nature. So if you take that truth, life begins at conception, not at birth. If we have a nature of sin at conception, that means we have life. All right, so life begins in the womb at conception, not after. All right, so here, this is the reason we're warped. This is the reason we are bent towards us and not God from birth. So we have today about 100 preschoolers and kids combined on campus between both services, okay? So I'm confident in telling you today that some of those kids right now are being disobedient, all right? They're rebelling right now, all right? It's in their nature from birth to rebel against authority, all right? Authority of God, authority of parents, whatever. It's in their nature to do so. They're as precious as they are, as loving as they are, and, you know, Graham says they're perfect and all those things. They're born warped, okay? Now, some of you are like, no, not my kid. Yes, your kid, all right? Some of you are like, yeah, my kid, I know it. That's why I dumped him off on y'all this morning, right? But the point is that by nature, it is in us. We are unable to be under the authority of God. We rebel against God. We don't love God. We do not come out of the womb saying, God, where are you? I want to worship you. I'm longing for you. Because of Adam's imputed sin, we cannot do that. All right, so moms, when you take your kids to Walmart, your babies, they go through Walmart and they got all that candy up there at the aisle when you're checking out, and they're screaming and yelling, and they want to scream no, and they want to push you and all that stuff. That's why they do that. That's why it's in them. They're a sinful nature. They don't want to be obedient. They don't look at you and say, Mom, I really want to honor God today. I don't think I'm going to scream, all right? When you tell them they can't have a Happy Meal at McDonald's, they scream like crazy. They rebel. They don't say, I want to honor the Scriptures. And the Scriptures say I'm supposed to honor my mother and my father. They don't do that. We don't do that because in our nature at its core, we are rebellious, and that is exactly where it came from. So you want to know what's wrong with the world? What's wrong with all the people in the world? That's it right there. Adam imputed sin upon us. Now, you may think that's not fair, all right? He's our rep. He's representing us at this point in Scripture. He's the father of humanity, and he imputed it to us, and you couldn't do anything about it. Now, here's what I do want to let you know. You can't take a position of being a victim either. You can't sit back and say, whoa, man, I'm a victim of all this sin. Right? You partook in it. Scriptures say that you loved it, you embraced it, and you revel it up in that sin. You love it. We all do that, okay? Because it's in our nature, our environments, our upbringing, our parents, or lack of parents, all the sin in the world did not make us the way we are. You need to understand that. This is why you and I cannot look back upon our childhood and say, well, I'm sinning right now because my dad didn't love me, because my mom didn't hug me enough. My parents, they were drug abusers. They never loved me, so then I'm a drug abuser, and I'm going to sin against God too. You cannot use that excuse. Your environment, your upbringing, those things can fan the flame of sin, but it's already started. The fire is already burning inside of you from nature to be rebellious against God. All right, so the good part about that, here's the good part, that no matter what your story is, where you're at today, no matter what sin you are either a perpetrator or a victim of in your life, by your hands or someone else's hands, Jesus is stronger than your sin. He can overcome anything in your life. You can't look back and say, well, I'm just going to be this way the rest of my life because my dad beat me and I did drugs and I've done this and that. I'm a victim. Jesus says, no, I'm greater than all of those things. My power is stronger over sin. Do not let those things define you. He is greater than all of those things. All right, that's great news.